I wake up every day and say, God, who can I be a blessing to today?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sharing Passion and Purpose podcast. My name is Nancy Moore, and I am the host of this weekly podcast that provides career and creative inspiration to help you build a passionate and purpose-filled life. You'll hear from guests that will help you tap into your creative potential, pursue a career with passion, and build on your biggest and best resource, yourself. I'm excited to have you join this conversation. I'm so happy you're here. Let's get started. So I want to talk to you for a minute before I start this episode about sales. I think everybody is in sales. Whether you have an actual quote unquote sales job, you are selling yourself in life in different situations, in different scenarios. And when you hear from Starr, you're going to hear about a very successful individual, and she's going to talk about her journey and her faith and what makes her successful in sales as an introvert, how she has built her business, and how it's continuing to grow. And she is just an incredible, genuine individual, and I think she has so much knowledge to share. So I'm really excited for you to hear this episode. Before we get started, I'd like to take a minute to thank my sponsor, Brittany McCoy, founder of B. McCoy Ministries. I had the opportunity to attend one of her incredible faith-filled retreats where every detail was carefully curated to make all of the women who attended feel special. I certainly did. B. McCoy Ministries creates transformative events that encourages authenticity for faith-driven leaders to overcome limitations and honor their unique calling. If you are ready to grow your faith more in 2025, check out bmccoyministries.com online for more information. You can also find her on Instagram as kingdom.change.agent. Now, on to the episode. Okay, so everybody, I am so happy to be visiting with Starr today. She and I met through a mutual friend, Tia Baker, at Bone Broth Bar.
We did.
So many different connections. And she has been to one of my events, maybe a couple of events, Conversations with Passion and Purpose. I've gotten to know her, and she has a heart of gold. And I will tell you, she has a pink Cadillac that is sitting in my driveway. And we are going to get to that because it's pretty amazing. Welcome, Starr.
Thank you so much for having me. I know it was like a God divine moment when we met that day.
I think it was too. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we talked a little bit about your background, and I wanted people to hear that because how many years have you been selling Mary Kay?
32 years.
Wow. Okay. So over that time, you have earned, tell people how many cars
so 14 career cars with Mary Kay. I've earned 14 career cars, I think 7 pink Cadillacs in the last 14 years.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. And I remember that from growing up, people selling Mary Kay, and that was such an incentive to get that pink Cadillac. And you to have 14 cars that you have earned over the time, you know something, and you're doing something right because that's sales. And I mentioned you have a heart of gold and you're genuine, but you also have, a husband and a family, and you left a corporate job when, was it your kids were very young? Or tell us about, your corporate job and then going from corporate and deciding to take the leap into Mary Kay.
Okay. I was working for Texaco in marketing, corporate salary, expense account, company car, you've got it made, and you think, I'm going to stay here till I'm 65. Well, we had no children when I started that. And then after we had our first child, Maddie, I realized one day daycare called and she was sick and I needed to pick her up, and I couldn't leave work, and my husband couldn't leave work, and my mom couldn't leave work. And I was physically sick. I had been in Mary Kay 2 years kind of as a hobby, not really doing much, just getting my products at cost. really focused on my corporate job, and I just was physically sick. I went and sat at my desk and I said, Lord, what am I going to do? And he said, it wasn't audible, it was just inside, Mary Kay. And I knew that wasn't me. And I said, are you sure? Because in my mind, I didn't see any way I was going to replace my corporate salary. But you know that old hymn, I surrender all? Mm-hmm. I surrendered my heart right then. And I said, I will do whatever you say if I can replace my income and work from home. And he said, well, of course I'm going to help you, So I had a conversation with my husband and I said, okay, I need to work from home. And he said, you earn a car with Mary Kay and you can quit your job, because I had a company car. So within 3 or 4 months, I earned my first car with Mary Kay. It was a red Grand Am at the time. So there's levels of cars. The first one now is a Chevy Trax. But anyway, I earned a car, turned in my resignation, which I was nervous about because you don't know how much money you're going to make. But I knew it was the right thing to do. I turned in my resignation and left that job. And literally 3 or 4 months later, Shell bought out Texaco in the Tulsa market, and everybody lost their jobs. So God was providing provision before I knew I needed it. And I was so glad to be at home and be able to set my own schedule and make a corporate salary. And it was such a leap of faith. And I remember one day in my devotion time asking God, okay, this is hard because I don't know how much I'm going to make. So it's hard to budget. And he said, I was your source at Texaco. I was your provider there. And I was like, I am so sorry. I made Texaco my source, and that was so wrong. But it just felt safe and secure because you knew how much you were going to make. Mm-hmm. But I knew I was where I was supposed to be.
Wow. Okay, so I'd like to talk about, because you have 2 kids, and at the time you probably had one, mm-hmm. and then later your son came.
Yes.
And so how did you, to reach that level of success where you are replacing a corporate income, mm-hmm. What did you do even in the day-to-day to get going to be able to sell?
Really building my business by faith. Just waking up every day, spending time with God. I knew I had to grow personally and spiritually and not worry about what people would think of me, which was really kind of a hang-up in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And so just trusting God, and you have those thoughts. Give that girl a card, hand that girl a book, call that person and offer a free facial. And I just started being willing and obedient to do the things that were uncomfortable. And then I realized this ministry of helping women be their most confident, most beautiful, I'm giving them a gift to have beautiful skin, and then praying that the right people would be there, that they're praying for something more, and this could be a business opportunity for them. And I have customers that are my lifelong friends. I have women that I'm investing in to help them replace their income and be able to work from home. It's just a beautiful thing, but it definitely was something I had to really trust God and do some difficult things every day that, you don't really want to do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So also on that note, were you, just because I'm going to drill down, so people that think, how would I do this with a small child or 2 small kids at home? During nap times, were you working? In the evenings, were you going to people's homes and giving them the facial? What did that look like for you?
Okay, so nap time. I always had people come to my home at nap time and did facials while my daughter was sleeping. And then probably I was doing facials one night a week and then a couple on Saturday.
Okay, yeah.
Every single week. So consistency really was the key.
Yes. So now how big is word of mouth advertising for you?
Huge. I have built my business by referrals for sure.
Okay.
If someone loves it, then they're going to tell their mom and grandma and sister-in-law and best girlfriends.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm saying this, but I assume you had a great group of friends, and as your daughter got older too, the moms at school, but how do you, you can reach out to them, but how do you feel like people maybe aren't avoiding you because they don't want to buy anything or because you are not pushy at all. And one of the things that I loved is when you gave me actually just a sample packet when you came over one time with Tia and just, said, I'd love for you to try these products. And that was it. And you didn't ever call two days later to say, have you tried the products? What do you think? You didn't send me a message through Instagram. You didn't text me. There was no follow-up. Uh-huh. And so I remember it took me a long time to open the package and look at the products. And I tried the eyeliner and I loved it. And it was enough to where it was this little eyeliner, but I tried it, I think 3 days in a row. I think it had enough for 3 days in a row or 4 days or something. And I remember thinking, I love this eyeliner. It goes on so smoothly. This is the nicest eyeliner I've ever tried. Where is Dawn's information? And I was texting you. And then as we were getting into a conversation, I realized how successful that you have become. And so back to that, how do you feel like you're not being overbearing or salesy or, pushy? Because we talked about you replacing that corporate income, and you do have maybe a pressure personally to, make a certain amount of money. And so how are you not calling all the people or, where is that line? Like where you're just the friendly person, the knowledgeable, but you're not pushy?
I think I'm not pushy, and I'm more of an introvert. And so I take samples with me everywhere I go. And when I build a relationship with someone, obviously I'm going to offer them a free facial to try the product because I believe in it so much. And many times I'm like, invite your family, friends, girlfriends, and do a group, either color session. We do seasons where we determine your season and what color makeup is right for you. I also do spa facials, like Hydra Session spa facials, and it's like so I really feel like I have a lot of value to give to people, so I offer it all the time to women that I build relationships with, and then someone will come and go, oh my gosh, I want to do this with my girlfriends. And it just starts multiplying when you know that you're adding value to people. So I think that's really the heart of enriching women's lives, and people can tell if you're in it to sell them something or you really care. And so I think like if you have the heart of like ministry and caring for people and genuine, like you're talking about, people are going to be attracted to you and want what you have. So, yeah, there is that line of not feeling pressure. And if I talk to someone and they're not interested, then I will say, this does not change our relationship at all. I love you. We are friends. Never avoid me.
Yeah.
Have those real conversations with people.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And if someone says, I've used such and such brand forever and ever and I love it, I'm like, great. That makes me so happy if you're happy with what you're using.
Yeah. Okay. For me, so my background is accounting, and then I also went into sales. And so I've been trained in sales. And I don't know if Mary Kay helps train you or if you get, pumped up your group, or if you're, pumping up your team or what. But some days you just don't feel like doing it, or selling. It's just hard. So on those days, what do you tell yourself or what do you do?
I wake up every day and say, God, who can I be a blessing to today? Who can I be a blessing to today? And, make connections. But I will go to Bone Broth Bar or a coffee shop or whatever, meet a girlfriend, and then there's always connections that happen organically.
Wow, okay. I love that thought that you're thinking that way. Mm-hmm. So you and your husband, I'd like you to mention this because I think it's pretty cool, but You and your husband are both entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And he is, I think, fairly well known here in the Tulsa area. And so I'd like you to share maybe a little bit about that, because when you're both entrepreneurs, nothing's guaranteed. So would you share a little bit about your husband and how well you all work together with the entrepreneurship?
We really do. So my husband is an extrovert, and he's been to all the Mary Kay seminars with me. And he's always thought I would love to have my own business, but he didn't really know what that was going to be. And he's been my biggest supporter.
Hi, everybody. I thought we'd take a short break so I can announce my next event on Friday, March 7th from 11:30 to 1 o'clock. I will be hosting my special guest in a live podcast event. Her name is Rachel Lambert, and she is the founder and CEO of Brain Code Centers. Our topic is looking to level up, maximize your brain's potential to propel you towards achieving the next level of success. With almost 2 decades of experience in brain mapping and neurofeedback, Rachel is uniquely equipped to offer specialized insight into brain optimization, brain health, and biohacking your brain. If you feel stuck, need to retrain your brain, or just want to optimize your brain's potential to level up in your life and career, please join this conversation. You can go to my website, sharingpassionandpurpose.com, and click the events tab, and please use code BRAIN for $5 off your ticket now through February 16th, and I look forward to seeing you then. Now back to the episode.
Honestly, Mary Kay says a man behind her woman makes her a woman and a half. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And so, like, having a supportive spouse makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And he told me from the very beginning, which is true, but it was a thought I had to get into my own head, that I could increase my income faster than him, because he was working a corporate job. I could increase my income faster than him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm totally control of my future. And when I worked for Texaco, sometimes you get a 5% raise or an 8% raise, but someone else was in control of how much money I was going to make. And now I'm in control of my own. And so, like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. Well, 12 years ago, Scott and a business partner decided they were going to start Two Pops Catering. So it's two dads, but Two Pops sounded better than two dads. Two Pops Catering. So it's boneless chicken and barbecue. They're the number one caterer in Tulsa. But when he started, there was no guarantee of any income. So we were relying totally on mine, which was empowering. Like, God, you're going to show up big. And so we just multiply and grow. And we have several hundred consultants on my team throughout the United States. And so my mission every day is, how can I empower them and lead those women to build a successful business? And then on the customer side, who can I enrich their life today?
Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay. Yeah, it's really cool, because you mentioned, and this was right before we started recording, when he left, it was a lot of, I don't know if I should say pressure or what on you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because our kids were in private Christian schools, so paying their tuition, all the just day-to-day expenses of running a household. God is faithful. And a lesson that I learned, so when I was stressed about income one day and I was praying, God said inside, it wasn't audible, but when you ask your son to take out the trash, how long do you want him to wait? 2 days, 2 weeks, or 2 months? And I'm like, I want him to get up right then and do it. And he's like, you make me wait all the time. And I'm like, I am so sorry. So what does that mean, really? Well, someone comes to your mind and you're like, I need to call her and offer her a facial. Do I put that off for 2 days, 2 weeks, or 2 months? So that just means God's leading me to someone that this could change her life, make her be more confident and beautiful, or she's praying for a business opportunity and this could be the answer. So really just being like, do it now. Don't delay tomorrow what you can do today. And I built my business by faith, and my scripture this year is Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1, arise and shine, your light has come, and the glory of the Lord shines upon you. So that's it. Like, be a light everywhere you go.
Okay, I love that, Dawn. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to circle back because you mentioned that you're an introvert by nature, and I would not have guessed that at all because you just are so friendly and, have attended events, and my sister had the opportunity to sit next to you and just enjoyed visiting with you. And so I want you to maybe give some encouragement to people who are introverts on their own path and whether they think there's no way I could do sales. And maybe it's because you believe so much in your product. And I want to talk about the quality of your product here in a minute, but maybe it's because you believe so much in your product. But I do think that you love helping women feel beautiful.
So I really do.
Is that it? What it is with you just get over being an introvert and you will give people products and
so okay, as an introvert, basically I recharge by myself.
Okay.
So I need alone time to recharge. I can be out with people and totally engage. It was very uncomfortable at the beginning. Now, my first probably 10 appointments, my knees were knocking, my voice was shaking, my palms were sweaty. It was totally outside of my comfort zone. But after I did it for a while, I'm like, okay, focus on the people, not myself, and really invest in the people. And then all the rest started falling into place. But I did have to overcome worrying about what people think in the beginning of my business. And I don't know why that's such a hang up. People aren't even thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves and their own life and what's going on around them. They're not thinking about you. But we can get hung up on worrying about what people think. But I'm like, when I'm sharing the product, they're looking in the mirror, trying it on themselves. They're not even thinking about you. They're focused on themselves. So I don't know. I have to have alone time to recharge. And anytime I hit a plateau, that is a signal to me that I need to grow personally and spiritually. So I'm constantly on a personal growth path and a spiritual growth path. And if I'm not growing, you'll kind of stall out and you won't know why. And it's like, okay, I need to grow in this area. So I think I had told you I spent a year studying faith. I was in the mid-level car, like an Equinox, and I desired to drive a pink Cadillac. And so I spent a year reading everything I could read on faith, every book I could find on faith. I mean, I bet I read 40, 50 books that year on faith only. I only studied faith. And what I found out is God wasn't withholding it from me. I was withholding it from myself because my deserve level wasn't there. And so once I realized that, I just started saying, the Cadillac's in the driveway. The Cadillac's in the driveway. It's already there. He wasn't withholding it from me. I just wouldn't believe it for myself. So believe those things that be not as though they are. So the Cadillac's in the driveway. What does that mean? As a Cadillac sales director, you're making a phenomenal income and you're driving a trophy on wheels. And so I just started saying the Cadillac is in the driveway. Well, my team grew in 6 months from 75 to 150 women. And what happened is once I believed it was there, the ideas started coming. And then I just had to do those things. And we multiplied so quickly. But I believed it. And then it manifests. So I love to teach about that all the promises in the Bible are true. And all the promises in the Bible are true for you. And if they haven't manifested yet, they're manifesting. So
when you're able to manifest those things, you are on a different level. Like, I hate to say you're vibing on a different level, but
it's true.
It's such a different feeling. And I have been seeing that personally as I've grown. And of course, my faith is huge to me as well. And, it's just like, thank you, Lord. But you have to get out of your own way and let these things happen. But you do have to believe and see it.
You do have to believe and see it. So visualization is Like God gave us the ability to see it like a movie already happening, already there. And it's huge to be able to do that.
So do you create goals every year?
I do.
And when do you, because I create a vision board at the first few weeks of January. I don't set New Year's resolutions on, I don't do that on New Year's Eve, or on New Year's Day. I wait, and after praying about things, I'll create a vision board. But how do you kind of set goals or set up your vision for yourself? And maybe it's not for the year, maybe it's the month, or, how do you do that?
Yeah, so I set a big goal this year to increase by 30%, which is like, oh my gosh, that's huge. For me, what does that translate to? I do have vision boards. I'm very visual. So I need to see it all the time. So actually there are pictures all around my house of my vision because I need reminders. This is what I am here to do. And for me, it's helping more women replace their income or work from home or provide the extras for their family. That's like, God, help me to reach more women because they're praying for a way to do that. Help me lead them to that. Help me to help women grow in confidence and teach them about living by faith.
Yeah, that's great because you are such a faith-filled leader, and I love that the women that are working with you are able to hear from you and have you pour into them. Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
They're lucky.
Thank you.
So I want to talk about the Mary Kay products because I don't know, you're going to have to tell me, but it's not under the U.S. regulations, or tell me about how they're made, because they're
So it's all manufactured at Mary Kay in Texas. It's all manufactured in the United States in Texas.
Okay.
And distributed throughout the United States. But we follow European guidelines on ingredients. And that's what really attracted me was the skincare, because the first time I tried it, I'm like, my skin has never felt this good. And I just thought, I want to use all this forever after I tried it. But when I knew that it followed European guidelines, so we're in 32 countries. And if there's an ingredient banned in a small country like Finland or something, and if it's in any of our products, it's removed. And they'll develop a new product. So it makes me feel so confident. Like, I don't know, I'm really careful about what I eat. And I use that Yuka app, and it's a European app, and you scan your food, and it gives it a rating. Well, I can feel confident with Mary Kay because it's, European guidelines on ingredients. So there's like 12 or 1,400 ingredients banned in Europe that's allowed in the United States in cosmetics alone. So I can feel great that the products are safe.
So I think people are waking up to that, and I hope that there are going to be some changes that are implemented, but I don't know how quickly that's going to happen. But I loved that Mary Kay had that focus. And I didn't realize it's all manufactured down in Texas.
So it started in Texas in 1963, and Mary Kay's been named the greatest female entrepreneur in American history. And she started the company so women could make an executive income and work from home, which was revolutionary in the 60s. You think about that.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a Christian company too. She set it up, God first, family second, and career third.
Okay. Wow. I know you just gifted me her book. Is it her biography?
Her autobiography.
Her autobiography. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
I mentioned that I lived in Dallas for a little while, and so people knew, who Mary Kay is. And so anyway, I think that's incredible. So are there many pink Cadillacs driving around Tulsa?
So I think I'm maybe the only pink Cadillac in the Tulsa area. In Oklahoma, there's probably 12 to 15 in the state of Oklahoma. The top 1% of the company earn cars with Mary Kay.
Wow.
But it's a big fleet of cars, and it's just such an honor to earn a car. And it takes a team of women, because it's me and all the girls on my team. All of us together is what qualifies for the car.
Oh, okay.
So it's mentoring women and helping them.
Okay. Yeah. So you have to have a strong team to be able to do that. It's really neat that you can do that. You don't have to be in person, especially, Zoom can connect you.
Yeah, I do weekly Zoom trainings for all my consultants.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Well, I might ask you about your business card.
Okay.
So you have on your business card, I caught you doing something fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
And yep, there's your business card. And it has, I'll have to show people what it has, because it has your picture, it has your information. There's a QR code or two QR codes, and you're probably handing those out left and right at places. But I loved the pink card. I loved that it had, I caught you doing something fabulous. So can you make up your own cards, and what do people have to do to get that card from you?
Yeah, so...
or what have you seen people do where you're giving them the card?
Well, because of the QR code, it says enter to win a $500 cash giveaway. I do a $500 cash giveaway every month. So on the QR code, they can go on there and request samples. They can schedule a facial with me. There's a link for Calendly. They can schedule a facial with me. They can find out information about the career, or it links them to my marykay.com website. So on my Instagram is Galaxy of Stars. My Facebook's just Dawn Starr, but my link tree's on there. So anybody can go on there, request samples, schedule a facial, or go to my website and look at products.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think all of the marketing is so good, because I'm trying to remember, there was another little product that I looked at, and it had a tiny little sticker with your information on it. And so it's neat, because as people run out, your information is just right there to reach out and, be able to order something else. And it's easy to do it online as well.
It's easy to do it online.
Mm-hmm.
It can come to your door in 2 to 3 business days by FedEx, and everything's guaranteed. I love that. If you ever get something you don't love, you can exchange it for another product of equal value, and it doesn't cost you shipping or anything.
Okay.
So it's all guaranteed.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to try some of my things that you gifted me. I appreciate it. So well, in wrapping up, my theme is Thrive in 2025. Mm-hmm. And so I'd like to find out how or what you are doing to thrive personally or professionally in 2025.
So my husband and I work out every day. So we've really been focused on weight training and physical fitness. I'm a grandma now, and I'm like, you start looking at, oh my gosh, okay, do I have 30 more years on this earth? What's the biggest impact? And I want to live my best life. So personal fitness and personal growth. So I'm constantly reading something that's going to help me personally, and then of course growing spiritually with God. That's it. So arise and shine. That's my word. So every day I'm like, what can I do to grow personally and spiritually today? That's it.
Okay. That's awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much for visiting with me. I appreciate it so much. This has been great and very filling for me. I just appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. When we met that first time, there was this instant, like, I really like her. You're just so likable. And then when I listened to your podcast several times, I'm like, she's magnificent. So I've been telling my friends about your podcast, and you're making a difference.
Thank you, Dawn. Oh my gosh, you have made my day. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I appreciate you being here. And don't forget to connect with me on social media. Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn are at Sharing Passion and Purpose, and Twitter is at Passion Sharing. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.